Hi, I'm Anita. I'm the product manager of the secretarial product at GreatSoft, and I started here coming up to 3 years ago. I came over from the other side of the table, so to speak. I am a company secretary rather. I've come over with a number of years of experience in the company secretarial field. I've worked at many different firms of different sizes, many different clients, auditing firms, legal firms, in practice and obviously out of practice as well in terms of clients. So I've come here with more of a user kind of perspective rather than a technical perspective. I do attend regular seminars and so on in order to, maintain my CBD hours and so on. And I think that's part of what drives me really, is to make sure that the product that we put out there is something that the company secretaries in the field would find useful. In the last number of releases, we've added a number of items, including the public interest score calculator. The public interest score calculator is something that's required in terms of the New Companies Act. In other words, the New Companies Act stipulates that a company is only required to be audited if their public interest score is high enough in order to be audited. So what we've done on GreatSoft is actually add a calculator so users can calculate what their score is, and that will then be reflected on all of their reports. So it's not only used by the company secretarial department, but also by the audit department and any other users that they prefer to give access rights to. By entering the SEC dashboard, the public interest score calculator can be found over here. You can come into the search field and just select star in order to bring up a list of all of the entities in your public interest score calculator. As with the annual return system, you'll be able to see we use the star system on the left-hand side. This will easily show to you which ones have been calculated. So the yellow stars will indicate that this one has been calculated. You will also be able to see the PI score and the result on the right-hand side. So the empty stars are the entities which have not yet been calculated. If I click on one of these entities, you'll be able to see that it provides all the different questions and factors which make up the public interest score calculator. Once these are all answered, you click on the calculate button, and that will then give you a summary of your answers as well as the public interest score and result. Another thing that we added recently was the functionality in order to be able to process split share class conversions. Previously, you could only convert a full share class to another class, but we've added the functionality now where you can actually just convert a few shares in that class to another class, or numerous classes as the case might be. I think one of the main features that really benefits our clients a lot is our annual returns dashboard. It helps clients to maintain the submissions of all their annual returns to CIPC. They can make sure that every single entity that is necessary to submit an annual return on a monthly basis is actually submitted on time, and there are no penalties that are payable. From personal experience, I've learned that a lot of clients tend to fall through the cracks if you're not working off an electronic system where everything is captured and in one database. So the fact that we have everything on one system, I think it helps the clients a lot to make sure that everything is done timeously and none of their clients are going to have the risk of being deregistered or having to pay penalties. It's quite an easy to use software. Again, we're going to navigate to the SEC dashboard and then select the annual return section. I'm going to select the month that I'm looking for. So for example, if I'm looking for the June annual returns, I simply click on the month, and again we have the star system, which gives us a very clear idea of which ones have been submitted and which ones have not yet been submitted or have been started. So for example, this one over here, the very first company over here, has a yellow star, which means that it has already been submitted, as we can see in the status column, and it also gives a summary on this front screen of what the information was that was submitted. The half a star indicates that something has been captured in the annual return, but it has not yet been submitted. So essentially its status is still showing as open. If I open up that annual return, you'll be able to see that the turnover has been captured and the duty amount has been calculated automatically for the user. This is showing as open because it has not yet been submitted. As soon as it has been submitted, the submitted date is entered and the star changes to yellow. The empty star simply means that the annual return has not yet been started or submitted, and it is still outstanding. One of our very important features is our reports. We have a very comprehensive selection of reports, both for the company secretarial and other features of the system. And one of those is obviously your info sheet. I think it's probably the most important report that most of our clients use. The information sheet is essentially a one-page summary of what the current status is of a company or a CC or whatever the entity type is. It'll show who the current shareholders are, the members, directors, etc. In our next update, two of our biggest projects are going to be coming to fruition, which I'm quite excited about. One of them is the customized workflow functionality. I think every firm I've worked at, and certainly every one of our clients, has their own templates that they would like to use for certain workflow items. Obviously, as part of our system already, anytime any transaction is processed on the register, it does create a workflow item for them automatically. So the core forms, the J forms, the CC forms, whatever the case might be, those forms and documents are created automatically and generated with the relevant information. However, going forward, they will be able to use their own templates. So for example, if they have their own minute template they would prefer to use for a certain transaction, like an appointment of a director, they will be able to upload that template and it will be generated as part of the workflow that's already on the system. Another feature which we have coming out very shortly is the organogram. So clients will be able to use a group organizational structure chart, which will show the setup of a certain group in terms of its ownership. So they can then literally just pull and go into any company, click on the reporting function, and they can click on the organogram option. So it'll give them a perfectly good group flow chart to show them how the shareholding structure of that group is structured. We always open to our clients' ideas. So we regularly keep in touch with clients, we meet with clients, and if they feel that there's anything that we can add to the system to make it easier for their functional and day-to-day lives, then we are always open to those ideas. And taking those into consideration, we do have plans next year to add certain register types. For example, a register of debenture holders and a register of sessions and pledges. That's just a small part of it, but we have many more up our sleeve, which I'm quite excited about for next year. So watch the space.